man down, bullies blow the man down.
You mean way, blow the man down.
Blow the man down, bullies blow him away.
Give me some time to blow the man down. Give it over the bar on the third.
For today's cup of coffee, we have a subject which is near and dear to the hearts of some and to the others, very controversial.
What is it?
Well, it's about the sailor's tattoo code.
Uh-huh.
And so tattoos are still very controversial.
That's true, even though, why?
I think it's
For
just
what reason?
different people's belief on tattoos. And for some people, where it says biblically that you're not supposed to tattoo, and they don't understand that. And that came when Moses led the Hebrew people out of Egypt. And at that point, tattoos were the mark of a slave.
Right, it's no longer...
No, it's not. It is a matter of freedom of choice on that.
Yeah, so, why apply that to now?
Well, like I said, there's people that don't, they just don't like the appearance of them. They don't understand the symbology behind a lot of them.
Well, just because they don't like them, then they don't have to get them.
Right. It's just one of those things. There are some people that because they don't like something, they don't think that anybody else should have something that they don't like.
If it doesn't affect them, mind their own damn business.
Yeah, well, And within this, tattoo is a very ancient art. And months ago, I had started to do research on the history of tattoo, but it is very extensive.
It is.
And so it was a matter of other things taking priority, other stories, especially this stuff about the UFOs and the government's having these hearings on the UFOs, UAPs, whatever the hell they're calling them today. And so that took precedence over something that was historical.
Yes.
Not hysterical, but historical.
That's going to be like an hour and some long video.
We would probably have to break that one up.
That one's going to be like... We're going to do it's going to be high... What's the word? High production quality.
Oh, good God,
We're going to
no.
be doing voiceovers with all the clips and pictures and shit.
Well, we can plan that, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. So, this is from Ripley's Believe It or Not and was written by Colton Kruse, and that was June 8th of 2016, and the link will be in the description box. And so Mr. Kruse writes, sailors are renowned for two things. So their tattoos and their strict adherence to superstition. But did you know the two are often one part of the other? Mm-hmm. I will say that he missed something else that sailors are renowned for. And that is their ability to use certain words. Cussing like a sailor. Yes. I'm carrying on an ancient tradition.
Me too.
So
a lot of people do.
They do, because when we understand where some of these words come from,
mouths that would make sailors blush.
And it's like, who was it that deemed certain words were usable and acceptable and some were not? Yeah, no. That's another cup. That would be for another cup. That would be an interesting one. We'd have to bleep lots on that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow, inked sailors date back thousands of years in ancient China, and it's believed that Captain Cook's voyage to the Pacific Islands popularized the practice with Western sailors. Once they became popular, complex systems of meanings and associated superstitions developed within sailor culture, and today the sailor's tattoo has become popular with tattooed landlubbers as well.
Tattooed landlubbers.
So, what are the meanings of some of these tattoos?
Like the anchor?
Yeah, that's one of them. It is. That is. Did you peep at my notes?
No, that's just one. That's just something everybody knows of.
Okay, anchors were symbols of stability to sailors and were often accompanied by mom or dad, authority figures likened with the seaman's stability. Anchors could also mean that a sailor had crossed the Atlantic and returned safely. Eventually, merchant marines would adopt the anchor as a de facto badge of membership. So that is a classic sailor tattoo.
I mean, I think Captain Knuckles from Flapjack had one.
Probably. It's like lots of pirates that we have known and admired. I don't know if Captain
Knuckles is one that you exactly admire, but one that people should admire.
He had a wooden ass. How could you not admire that?
He had no legs.
Right.
He had no legs. That was his ass.
Right. So anyhow, the crossed anchors. A pair of anchors crossed on the webbing of the hand between the thumb and index finger meant you were a boatswain's mate. A boatswain's was the foreperson on deck in charge of managing the crew on duty and directing any rigging, anchoring, or cabling of the ship. So that was sort of like, I can see how that would be almost job description.
Yeah.
There are several of them on here that are job description. Crossed cannons. A pair of crossed cannons designed military or designated military service among sailors. Though you might think of an old naval warship equipped with just cannons, many early navies also used sharpshooters on deck and in rigging to fire at the enemy's ship's decks. In some cases, crossed guns could mean a sailor was such an appointed sniper instead of a cannoneer.
Cannoneer.
It's like terms, I don't know. I didn't know what they called somebody that fired the cannon. Did you? It's a cannoneer. We're educational and shit.
I didn't know what it was.
Well, now we know. And then there's one that's called the compass rose.
Loves it.
And this is the one that it does look like it's got the north, south, east, and west. And it's like pyramids joined together in the center. And not all tattoos were supposed to mark service or accomplishments. Some tattoos were meant to act as talismans of protection for the sailor and the ship carrying them. A compass rose may not have actually worked as a compass, but was supposed to help keep sailors from getting lost and remind them of the way home. That one is actually quite popular today.
Yeah.
A star. Now, this is the one where each of the points are often different colors. That has become very popular again. And it says a star, much like a compass rose, was a safeguard against being lost at sea, but instead was meant to protect a sailor lost overboard or otherwise stranded at sea. And you've got to wonder, these people that are getting these tattoos today, do they know the meaning?
Do they?
Probably not. Probably not. A harpoon. Harpoons were a direct reference to whaling and were as such were symbols of time aboard a fishing boat or service in a fishing fleet. Though the harpoon was simply a tool of the trade, many eventually came to be associated as a symbol of protection against vengeful whales and sea monsters.
Okay.
I would have to look up and see exactly the design of the harpoon because I'm thinking, would people other than sailors know what that was?
I know what a harpoon is.
I know, but and maybe it's just because whaling is not that has lost favor over the years.
Yeah, save the whales.
A fully rigged ship. A fully rigged ship was evidence that a sailor had crossed the dangerous waters of Cape Horn, also known as Tierra del Fuego, the Land of Fire. Occupying the southernmost tip of South America, Cape Horn was dreaded by many sailors. The rough waters required a ship to travel under full sail. Mutinies have even been recorded against captains ordering the navigation of these notorious waters.
Damn.
Yeah. A turtle. You actually have a necklace that's a turtle, don't you?
I do.
Turtles were well known by sailors for being
turtles.
stalwart travelers
turtles.
of the sea, and turtles were the mark of a sailor who had crossed the equator. The visage of King Neptune was also a symbol of this feat, and some sailors even got tattoos of both to mark their achievement. Now, you haven't been across the equator, but you've got it around your neck, not on your body tattooed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
It's just a beachy turtle.
Well, that's where you get into symbolism of different cultures and stuff. Turtles mean different things. We just talking about the sailor
He's
symbolism
just trying to
right
vibe, man. He's just trying to vibe.
We have another one that is very popular, and that's a dragon. A Chinese dragon celebrated a sailor's trip to the Orient, and a golden dragon meant that they had crossed the international date line. Dragons have long marked the backs of sailors and pirates in the Asian Pacific. Asia was the birthplace of the original marriage between sailors and tattoos, but as time went on, many countries in the region began associating tattoos with pirates and brigands, eventually outlawing tattoos. So, and that was sort of like Japan, where they had outlawed tattoos there for a while as far as the Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the Japanese mafia, in case you didn't know. And those, yeah, they were some
Japanese mafia.
There were some badass people, but the
Yeah.
tattoos were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and never get a tattoo someplace that you can't cover it up in case you have to go to court. Or as far as a meeting or something like that.
No.
Then we have the notorious hula girl.
I like the hula girls.
Yeah.
I want one for a dashboard decor.
The hula girl was made popular by tattooists like Sailor Jerry, who helped popularize tattoos among Navy soldiers during World War II. A hula girl meant a trip to Hawaii, and to many soldiers was a reminder of the attack on Pearl Harbor. In the early 1900s, the U.S. Navy banned what it deemed as salacious tattoos, and some artists popped up with specialties in adjusting tattoos for modesty. Usually they were topless. The original ones.
Yeah.
Same thing with the mermaids. And so you had some of them that they had to put some kind of a bikini top on.
I don't know. I find the coconut bikini top iconic.
Yeah, it is. But that's how that came to be.
I find that a staple. A staple
it's
piece.
And as far as Sailor Jerry, it seems like that you can go online and find some of his designs and stuff. Mm-hmm. You can find these classic designs, tattoo designs, multiple places online.
Does that mean if I ever get to take a trip to Hawaii, I can get a tattoo of a hula girl and be like, I've been to Hawaii?
Well, sure. But I think it would be more interesting to have the tribal designs. Yeah. Just the classic ones on that. The ancient ones. Then we have the tattoos of rooster and pig.
Why?
I had never seen this
Why?
one. And it says a rooster tattooed...
Rooster coughing up flames. There we go.
Yeah.
Spitting flames.
A rooster tattooed on one foot and a pig on the other was believed to keep a sailor safe from drowning. Chickens and pigs were thought to often survive shipwrecks and were sometimes found at sea. This most likely was due in part to them being boarded in wooden crates.
Nah.
But the belief persisted into World War II when many sailors got this tattoo. They believed putting the tattoos on their feet would keep the ocean from pulling them down. And for people who do not have tattoos, anytime that you get a tattoo where there is, near bone, it is extremely painful.
Yeah.
So to have your feet tattooed, because bone, you've got nerves that are closer to the skin.
You know how to keep the ocean from pulling you down? You learn how to float.
Stay on land.
You float. Have you ever heard the term dead man float? Do that.
Oh, goodness.
Just relax your whole damn body. There you go.
Then we have the words hold fast. Hold fast written on your knuckles was meant to help you do just that, and a charm on the fingers to keep ropes from slipping through them. A seaman's dexterity with rope was what earned his salt. I thought that was fun. Sea, salt, anyhow.
Yep.
A rope around the wrist or a knot on the forearm was also worn by deckhands and deck tenders. And then we have swallows, as in the birds. That's another one that's a iconic
The bird.
tattoo. A sailor normally got a swallow when he first left home. The swallow was a symbol reminding the sailor of home and was believed to be a talisman that would carry the sailor's soul to their home if they died at sea. After the first swallow, each additional swallow marked 5,000 nautical miles traveled at sea. Now, see, that's what your grandfather had.
I didn't know he had a tattoo.
Yeah, he had a tattoo of a swallow, and it had a ribbon in its mouth that said Mom and Dad. But you've got to realize the Marines are a branch of the Navy. Maybe that's where I got this pirate theme from.
Maybe.
I don't know. Then you have one that was a dagger through a heart. A dagger through a heart was said to represent a lost comrade or many lost comrades. A sort of memento mori, the sailor would not only be reminded of his friend's death, but how treacherous the sea can be. And then there's other superstitions. Tattoos, of course, aren't the only symbolic practices in sailing culture. The golden hoop earrings, synonymous with pirates and brigands, were often thought to be a way to pay for a funeral if the sailor died, or even as a safeguard against drowning. I thought that was remarkably cool.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Now we know. If those ideas seem to counter each other, the almost global diversity of sailors has made many superstitions that aren't just different, but sometimes the exact opposite of each other. Whistling, for example, was thought by some to be bad luck, thinking that the wind would see whistling as a direct challenge and summon mighty storms. Others, however, believed the wind liked whistling and would ensure a good wind. In either case, galley cooks were often encouraged to whistle as a means to ensure that they weren't stealing food.
What the fuck?
I thought that was just cool.
Yeah.
So as far as the talismans, you don't have to worry about losing a tattoo.
No.
But it's one of those that you've got to, that takes a lot of thought. It should take a lot of thought because that's going to be with you.
Gummy bear Bart Simpson right on the
God.
ankle. I want that.
Oh, God. Most people who, well, I can't say that. I can talk
ignorant
about
tattoos.
myself.
I want the most dumb ass bullshit.
The ink that I have took a lot of thought. And I didn't just randomly go out here and get inked. You know, I would think about it. A lot of times the design would find me. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, oh, that's it. I've got to have that. And so, you know, it's not like I'm covered in them. I have several. Plan on at some point getting more as I can afford it, because if you get somebody that is a skilled tattoo artist, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's better to do that than be, you know, have something embarrassing for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Especially portraits. Oh, God. Make sure that you have someone that is good, because if a portrait tattoo is done poorly, it's horrible.
Very, very.
And it's like, you know, when I was a corrections officer, I saw a lot of ink. A lot of it was on other officers. But there were some really, there was somebody that came in, and I would have loved to have been able to have asked that individual where he got his tattoos. Brilliant. It was grayscale, headless horseman.
Ooh, I bet that was awesome.
It was an amazing piece. I don't remember why he was in there either. But then I think the worst one I have ever seen was the female that had a Honda symbol on the back of her neck. It was big and it was poorly done. Now, what in the hell? Well, of course, a lot of these people were on drugs. So
now tell me. Tell me why. Okay.
But for those of you who
This doesn't make damn sense to me.
well, like I said, a lot of these people were on drugs.
The fuck, Honda Civil, my symbol, civil.
Oh, it was interesting, and it's like
Fuck.
she would usually keep her hair up, and it's like there it was every time she turned around.
I
and it
hope
was
she
just
got
like,
that removed at some
"Oh,
point.
Probably not. But for those who do not have ink, don't pass judgment on those of us who do, because most of the time it is very meaningful to us. It is a matter of life journey. I have had my ink be used as witnessing tools more than once. So, yeah.
I just have one tattoo and it's an alien head.
It says I want to believe.
Yeah, right under it.
Yeah, well, and the artist, she was first starting out, and so at some point you need to have that,
It's kind of janky, but I don't mind.
It's not janky. It's not janky. It just needs to be, cleaned up just a little bit, and it wouldn't be hard to. And it's faded a little bit because the font was very thin. It was very fine.
The font, I don't have a problem with, honestly. I don't mind that. One eye looks like a damn kidney bean. That's what I have an issue with.
Oh my
It
goodness.
looks like a damn kidney bean.
Sort of. Oh my God, he's right.
I told you.
I never really noticed it. So, and it's like I've got a half sleeve that's Halloween theme, which is way cool. But it's also got scripture above and below.
I have a portrait that I did like a few years ago that I want tattooed on me. But the thing is, I'm going to have someone that will do it exactly like I
Right.
did it. Because if they fuck up my art, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, because that's my art
Right.
that they are screwing up.
Like I said, I have seen some amazing, art. And it's living art. But it is life journey. And there's people that they have made mistakes in their life and stuff like that. And to have the ink either redone, incorporated with something else. I always wanted to learn how to tattoo so that I could do cover-ups to make something that once was into something that now is. Yeah, to make the old new.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be a cool thing. If anybody would like to apprentice me, just let me know.
Let her know.
So the
Hint.
the symbolism behind tattoos, sailor tattoos, some of them. This is not an extensive list, but yeah, most tattoos do have some kind of spiritual meaning with them. Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
if you've had experiences with the paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptid, tattooed sailors, if you've got
Sailor me shivers. Sailor me shivers.
the hell? That sounds like one of my, screw ups.
The fuck?
If you've got local,
You did that. You did
regional, or family myths or
that.
legends.
I was going to say Sailor me timbers.
You mean shiver me timbers?
No, I meant to say
Oh,
Sailor
so-
me timbers as a
Oh,
way to make a joke.
Okay. I think it's a little bit.
Timber me sailors.
Okay. Anyhow, so like walk the plank or
Yes.
something. Hang them from the mizzen mast. You can email us cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and the email address is going to be in the description box. Know that you're loved.
Yes.
Whether you got ink or whether you don't, you do you. If you see somebody with ink, ask them. It's like, what does this mean to you? They may tell you and they may not. Mm-hmm. So, but just don't sit there and snarl up your nose, and that's a good way to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
But know that you're loved.
Yes. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good. See you on the next one.
We'll see you on the next cup. Bye. Arg.
Grr. Arg.
Give me some time to blow them down. As I was a walking down Paradise Street,